Howdy Neighbors, David here. And today on Boondock Stallions, we are continuing our 31 Days of Horror on day 8. Whoa. Okay, I probably should have put my phone off of vibrate. That was scary. Day 8, we just watched Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. Now, that's the second time I've seen this here recently. I bought the box set almost a year ago, and I've been going through every movie, every commentary, every special feature, every deleted scene, every disc. And some of those discs, like some of them went with like 4. It's like, what was that all about? But, it was awesome. I'm not complaining. It was great. But while I was going through it, the director of Part 6 was talking about how he wanted the movie to be filmed in black and white. He wanted to have this one filmed like Frankenstein or Dracula or The Creature from the Black Lagoon, those old Universal horror movies from the 40s and 50s. And so the studio wouldn't let him do that, but he filmed it as if it should be in black and white. And so I thought to myself, why did they not make that a special feature? How cheap would it be to render this movie in black and white and put it on the DVD, or even for an anniversary special, re-release it in black and white like a film noir thing and boost the sales for Friday the 13th Part 6? If you're paying attention, New Line or Paramount, sorry, yeah. That's actually I have money. I would give it to you. Anyways, but to talk about how cheap it would be, it was free. I did it. I put the disc in my laptop and I made it black and white, and I watched it on my TV, and it was beautiful. It was gorgeous, beginning to end. The whole thing was literally shot for black and white. And what I think is interesting is a lot of times with black and white films, it can feel a little boring. I don't know what it is, but if it doesn't have like this intense musical score, it can seem a little boring. And when you watch Friday the 13th Part 6, the music is very intense and very over the top and cinematic. And when you take away the color from the movie, that music is enhanced. It is way louder. It is way more in your face, trying to distract you from the black and white aspect. But it doesn't really distract from the black and white because it looks beautiful in black and white. I think the only part that was a little hard to see was at the very beginning when they're doing just shots of the night sky and the clouds were a little blurry. But I mean, it was the clouds. It wasn't hurting the story or anything. Right after that, maybe 3 seconds later, everything else was gorgeous. I mean, that scene where he flips over the bus and comes out on top, and he's got the light coming from the back, and he's up against the silhouette and the trees and the smoke, and it's very, very big horror, and it's gorgeous in black and white. I'm glad I did that. Having said that, Jason Lives is controversial because the Friday the 13th series, like the Halloween series, had decided, okay, Jason's done. Let's tell another story in this franchise. And we're going to do Halloween 3 Season of the Witch later next week at some point and talk about that one because that one is a controversial and divisive movie. It's not a bad movie. Everybody hates it and says it sucks, but it's just that it doesn't have Michael Myers, and they were expecting Michael Myers. But on its own, it's a solid horror movie. Anyways, back to Jason Lives. So the idea was in Friday the 13th, Part 4, the final Friday, obviously was labeled the final Friday, that Jason was going to die. He was dead. And then Friday the 13th, Part 5 came out, and there was no Jason. Jason was a memory in the back of a grown-up Tommy Jarvis's head, and we had a copycat killer taking out kids at that halfway house. And everybody hated the idea that there was a copycat killer and that even Tommy Jarvis himself was set up to continue the line of copycat killings for the next movie. Excuse me, really upset people. So they decided for the next movie to bring Jason back by any means necessary, which is why the director thought it would be a little fun to not take it so seriously, to make it kind of funny. And it has some of the best jokes in campy, macabre horror ever. Actually, this one should get special recognition because it has the one thing no Friday the 13th movie before it or since has had. Do you know what that is? Anybody? No? Campers. Yeah, campers at the camp. Who'd have thunk it? Kids, weird, right? But even the kids were funny. And it proves that Jason doesn't kill innocents. He's really only there to punish the ones that are doing bad. So the fact that he let those kids all live is pretty funny in the whole Jason mythology, uh, keeping it a pretty solid notion that him and his mother were only punishing the ones that were doing what are technically wrong things and neglecting the children. It's like where this stranger just walked into the bedroom with all these sleeping children, not one adult. Okay, to be fair, he had killed a few of them, but there were still other ones there alive and fully capable of keeping an eye on the kid. I'm just saying, like, um, so this one brings Jason back with a bolt of lightning through the body, just like Frankenstein, keeping in tone with the director's vision to make it like an old Universal horror film. And a lot of people don't like that Jason's sort of a zombie after this. And even though he's technically not a zombie, because when you get all the way to Jason Goes to Hell, another controversial and divisive horror movie we'll be doing this month, uh, you find out that he's actually technically a deadite from the Evil Dead series because there's all kinds of crossovers, and director Adam Marcus even talks about it in the commentaries and the interviews that it's in his movie. It is canon. Fight him. Jason's a deadite, and I like that. It works out pretty well. So this movie has a lot of campy humor. Jason takes out some people in very funny ways. He pulls that guy's arm off, and he very dryly looks at that machete in his hand, like, "Huh." Very nonplussed. I enjoyed the humor in that. Um, he got his machete, which was awesome. That's always a fun thing. I thought it was really great that when Jason showed up at the camp for the second time, the kids hid under the bed, and they had probably one of the best gags in horror movies when one little boy looks at the other one and says, "So, what were you gonna be when you grow up?" That's the funniest thing I've ever heard. So in this movie, they treat Tommy like he's disease infected. He's crazy. He's insane. Tommy is trying to warn the police that Jason's alive, and who's going to believe a crazy story that Jason's back from the dead and killing people? And obviously, Tommy's the killer, which was the plan to have Tommy be the killer. So they treat Tommy like the killer, and Jason continues his murderous rampage. And Tommy ends up dating the sheriff's daughter, and that's pretty awesome. Like that's probably the most baller shit you could do when you're getting arrested for murdering multiple people. Is date the arresting officer's daughter. That's thumbs up. Thumbs up, Tommy Jarvis. Uh, sorry, I'm going a little hoarse here. Do I? No, I don't. Okay, so Jason being a zombie. Originally, 1 through 4, he was technically a guy who was just hard to kill. Now he is straight up zombie mode. And I say 1 through 4 like it was a long time. It really only took place over a couple of days between 2, 3, and 4. That was like a long weekend, if you feel me. Long weekend. And then maybe 5 or 6 years between 4, 5, and 6, because you don't really know how much time passes between 4 and 6 because they kind of just skate over 5 like it didn't happen. It was Friday the 13th part 4, and then it was Jason Lives. There was no 5. We don't. It's the bastard redheaded stepchild. And actually, the reason I'm filming these out of order because I probably should have started with 5 and then done 6, but I thought it would be. I'm not going to go live for the part 5. Um, I'm not going to go live for that one. I'm going to film it because I have a funny little thing I want to do in there with uh, some of the music from the original movie. So look forward to that. I'm probably going to film it tomorrow when I get off of work and post it on Tuesday or Wednesday because I got to watch part 5. I also didn't know that the girl that dances that little robot dance in part 5 is the real life daughter of Kirsten's mom from the Nightmare on Elm Street series, parts 3 and 4. Kirsten Parker's mother. I don't remember the actress's name, but there you are, a little bit of trivia for you. So, what do you think about part six? I really enjoyed this movie. I mean, obviously, I'm a Jason fanboy. It's all over the place. It's probably going to be my next tattoo, if we're being honest. And I'm really surprised that I don't already have one. Um, but I really enjoyed part six for its campiness and its not taking itself too seriously. And I would say, and I know this is going to be blasphemy, and a lot of people are going to come at me in the comments, and that's totally fine. That's what they're there for. And comment here. Don't go to Facebook and comment there because, like, the bots on Facebook are going to take it down and destroy you in the middle of calling me an idiot or whatever. So just keep it here, and I allow all comments because they're fun. Uh, but I think, and keep in mind that my favorite movie is part eight. Jason Takes Manhattan is my absolute favorite, but it's a personal favorite for sentimental reasons, which we'll talk about at a later date. So part six is the best Friday the 13th movie of them all because it has got everything. It is classic horror movie. It is modern horror movie. It is 110% slasher film. It's funny. It's got jump scares. There's not a lot of blood, so it doesn't have to be gory and get a high R rating. Um, Ray, shh. My guard dog, everybody. Ray, get out the window. Good girl. Yeah. But honestly, think that part six is the best one. It's got the best writing. It's got the best directing. It's got, and I know when you think you probably just rolled your eyes when I said the best writing because the lines are very cheesy. Well, it's part six in a slasher horror film from the 80s. Were you expecting Shakespeare? Were you? Were you? Was it supposed to be like a Martin Scorsese film? No, it's Jason putting on a hockey mask and killing people who get naked. Um, Ray, Ray, get out of the window. Come here, go girl. But like I said, it's probably the best one. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Be excellent to each other and party on, dudes.